But, you know, there is one good thing about being a psycho. You know, one of the great things about being a psycho is you can spot another psycho from a mile away. You know, that's a really great thing. I can spot him, you know, it's in the eyes. Never look at the costume. Nice people look at the costume. They'll see someone in like dad jeans, you know, pushing their kid on the swing, you know, the whole nerdy sweater. Hey, how you doing? You believe the summer's already over? I mean, this is crazy, right? Oh, this one here's got me running around, you know. She's running the house. She's running the house. People always like, oh my God, he's so nice. Such a great family man. And I'm just sitting thinking in my head like, dude, that guy is a fucking psycho. He's a psycho. Look at his eyes. You don't see that? That dude is barely hanging on. He is white-knuckling it through all the shit he thinks he's supposed to do. All that fucking guy needs, he just needs a little nudge. That's it, just a little nudge. You have no idea what that guy's capable of. I would not want to see the hard drive of that man's computer. I'm telling you. Yeah, so I do it all the time. I'm pretty good at it, picking out psychos, and it drives my wife nuts. I really wish that wasn't the truth. So I'm going down 9th Avenue, and all of a sudden I looked up, and about 2 blocks away, all of a sudden I see this lesbian coming up the block, okay? Now I know this is Boulder, Colorado, right? So you guys are all like, fucking, hey man, you know? Like, how did you like know she was a lesbian, man? Like, that's not cool. You just looked at her and you just knew she was a lesbian? You don't know her. How do you just know somebody's a lesbian? Easy. The same way you do. The same way other lesbians do. It's not calculus. No, but I get it. I understand in 2021, you're not allowed to say you know what a lesbian looks like, right? Judging by your silence, yes, right? Yeah, you're not allowed, right? What's funny, if some white kid came in here, like 20 years old, hair slicked back, collar popped, loafers, no socks, you'd be looking at him thinking like, all right, frat boy date rapist, his dad's a judge, he's not going to jail. Yeah. Just killed 5 people in a drinking and driving accident. Already has a new Dodge Challenger on the way, right? Yeah, you're allowed to see that. That you can see, clear as day. Lesbian, no, but that's how progressive you guys are, right? You don't have any idea, right? Like, let's play a game. I'll just name different people you see and see the slides that come into your head, right? Construction worker, sports fan, painter, skateboarder, lesbian. Right? It all goes blank. Is that a lesbian? Am I I mean, I have gay friends, but I've never noticed any sort of a through line. Listen, people, I'm not saying all lesbians look alike. I would never say some ignorant shit like that. However, I am saying, though, every once in a while, there's a fucking layup. Right? Flat top, wallet chain, fucking walking up the street. Right? But even then, I'm not saying 100%, but gun to my head, I gotta go lesbian. Gotta go lesbian. Final answer, show me lesbian. Right? So, anyway, she's fucking walking up the street. I'm coming down, right? And it's clear to me that if we keep walking the way we're walking, we're gonna bump into each other. Now, I don't wanna bump into a woman. I don't wanna bump into anybody in New York, so I do the gentlemanly thing. I clock what's going on, so what I do is I just gradually shift over into my own lane. Now everything's fine, right? But then the weirdest thing happened. We walk like another 30 yards, and all of a sudden, she drifts back into my lane again. And I'm sitting there walking like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Thought I solved this problem. All right, so I fucking dip into another lane again, right? Okay, I'm walking. We go another 30 yards. She comes back into my lane again. So now, like, I'm up against the curb.
So now I'm like thinking like, okay, how do I do the politically correct math here? Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Am I supposed to like fucking, am I supposed to step off into the bike lane and have some young kid on his electric bicycle come by, 40 miles an hour, run me over? I go down to the pavement, knees and elbows. And for the rest of my life, every time it rains, I got to think about this lesbian that walked me off the fucking block? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Am I supposed to give up the whole sidewalk? Like, oh, your gayness? Right? Or do I stiffen up my shoulder and protect my lane? Right? Now, I'm not proud of this, but I chose the latter. All right? I was like, look, I'm 53, I moved twice, I have an AARP card, I'm the fucking victim here. So I stiffen up the shoulder, and then immediately I'm thinking like, okay, this is gonna get crazy. I have never done this with a female before. This is in public, people are gonna see this shit, what's gonna happen, right? But I'm not gonna lie to you, she started closing in, she was moving, so I like leaned in, like I really got my legs underneath me because she was built like a janitor, and I was not gonna get spun around. I wasn't getting spun around, not having that on the fucking logbook, right? So I lean into this shit, and at the last second, she turned her shoulder, and we just missed shoulders, but our forearms still slapped together with significant enough force that it warranted a turnaround. Okay? Now, I know most of you guys drive, so I will break down pedestrian etiquette really quickly in New York City. This is the deal. If you're walking down the street in New York, right? You're walking, and if you just sort of brush sleeves with somebody, you don't have to stop. You can just look over your shoulder. Hey, sorry, man. My bad. Have a nice day, right? Then there's the next level. Moves up a little bit. You're walking down the street, you actually bump into somebody, you actually have to turn around. Sorry, didn't see you. Little dojo bow. My bad. Whatever you have to do, my sensei, to keep it from escalating. And then there's the last one. You're just walking down the street and you hit so fucking hard, you gotta turn around and go like old school Dustin Hoffman, De Niro, like, hey, I'm fucking walking here! Huh? I fucking moved twice, you didn't see that? You drifted 2 times? Huh? So I turn around to have this confrontation. And let me tell you something, she never looked back. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that bugged me. That bugged me for like 3 days. 3 days, I'm just walking around New York, just fucking goddamn fucking bullshit. There's no fucking way you didn't do that on purpose. Who does that? Who drifts, you know? And I'm feeling this anger. It's just burning me up, and I know eventually it's gonna settle in my chest, and then one more time it's gonna be, I'm sorry, Dada, I'm sorry. It's like, I can't do this. I can't do this to my daughter, I can't do this to my kids. So I started reading up on anger. Like how to let go of shit, I think is what I Googled. And I found empathy. If you have empathy for somebody, you put yourself in their shoes, you can just, you know, figure out where they're coming from, where you're coming from, you can meet in the middle. So I said, all right, here we go. Let me put myself in her shoes. What would cause somebody to accidentally drift into your lane twice? You know? So I just started throwing shit on the wall. Here we go. Did she have a club foot? No. Did she just have a stroke? Did she have Bell's palsy of her left side? You know? Was she a mummy? Did she have a wooden leg? You know? Is she one of those, those fucking diagonal walkers? You get behind them at the airport, you know, they're walking too slow, you try to go around to the right, they start dragging their suitcase over there, you go over to the left, they're coming back this way, you know, it's like they just got off a ship, and everything was just like, no, cut! Right? And I was still mad. Still fucking mad. So I said, oh, who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck. Lied to myself, said I didn't give a fuck, you know? So then I ended up going home. And I'm home and I'm washing the dishes, which is a very Zen-like thing to do. It's like a week later, you know, you wash dishes, you're not thinking of anything. Your brain is empty. I'm washing the dishes, and then all of a sudden, the answer just came to me. It just floated into my head. And I just looked up, I was like, oh my God. I know why she did it. I know why she bumped into me. She bumped into me because she's a lesbian. I mean, it was right there. I was like looking 9 miles down the street, looking under shrubs. It was right in front of my face. She did it because she's a lesbian. right, so judging by most of your silence, I will do this math for you. Come on. Let's have a little empathy here. Put yourself in a lesbian's shoes. All right? Who do lesbians date? Women. Who do they do? Do they move in with? Women. Who do they get in relationships with? Women. Who do they eventually marry? Women. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I did that. I know what the fuck that's like. I know what it's like to live with one of those fucking things. I know exactly what that is. It's hopeless. Trying to make them happy. Hey, I bought you the shiny thing. Did I do it right? Huh? Trying to get them to take responsibility for their actions. Not gonna happen. The best you're gonna get is I'm sorry, but. I know what it's like to be winning a fucking argument. You're winning, you're winning, you're winning. And then they turn it around. They're crying. You're apologizing. You're thinking, what the fuck just happened? How am I losing this shit? I had you on the ropes. You feel so dumb. You gotta go for a walk. And you're just thinking, how did I lose again? How did I lose again? And then you figure it out. It makes you feel stupid. And then you see some bald idiot with a giant orange mustache. You're like, you know what? Why don't you take some of that shit? You take some of that fucking anger. Yeah. I feel so stupid that I got mad at that woman. I shouldn't have got mad at her. I should have bought her a beer. And just listen to her troubles and add empathy and be like, yeah, it's not your fault. You married a woman. I did it too. You're not gonna win. There's no winning this. Yeah. I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, do a little people watching. Take a look at the look on the average lesbian's face. All right? I don't mean a lesbian in her 20s. She's got a whole life ahead of her. She's got Christmas in her eyes, right? I mean a lesbian about 35, 36, starting to settle into what the deal's gonna be, right? And then look across the bar, find a married guy about the same age. Look at the look on his face. Look at the look on her face. Go back to his face. It's the same fucking look. Yeah. And then look at gay guys. Some of the happiest people I've ever met in my life. They're almost too happy. It's like, hey, how's it going? They're like, hi! Almost floating across the room with that lack of estrogen just yanking down your fucking dreams. Now look, it might be a front. I'm not saying all gay guys are just blissfully happy, but it's looking like a pretty good time to me. Dude, they're some of the most positive people I've ever met in my life. Any idea you have, they support it. They're just like, yes, yes, queen, yes, you're fierce, you can do it. Lesbians are up at the bar like a bunch of jaded cops. That's all fucking bullshit. What the fuck was I thinking? U-hauling after 10 days, moving in. What the fuck was I thinking? She's crazy. No, I'm telling you. I think married men and lesbians need to start hanging out more. And we got to put our heads together and try to solve our common problem, the women in our lives.